Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about this video because if I can just help one soon-to-be mom out there, I really want to do that. I give product recommendations, breastfeeding tips, newborn tips. I continue to think of things that come to mind. So if you like this video, if it's helpful for you, let me know and I will make a series of these videos. Now let's just jump right into it. Hi. I have had a really hard week. I've had a really hard past couple of weeks, if I'm being honest. My son is going through some kind of sleep regression. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, his sleep pattern basically has just changed. Now I'm not really sleeping through the night at all. I'm tired. I am feeling like I am back at square one, which is not an unfamiliar feeling. And I'm just being reminded of everything that I didn't know at the beginning. I'm thinking about all of the different things that pop into my head of things I wish I would have known. I don't even know how many things there are going to be, but here are some things that I wish I would have known before having a baby. There's so many different things that I could say first, but I'm just going to start with the first thing that pops into my head. Get a lot of burp cloths. A lot. You will never have enough. My favorite ones are from Amazon. They're like this muslin material. You throw those burp cloths in the stroller, in the car seat, everywhere you go. You don't know what kind of bodily fluid is going to be coming out of your child. Also, did not realize how gassy babies are, newborns are. Their digestive tract is not really developed yet, so the gas gets really easily trapped in their little bodies, and it's very painful for them. Wendy's, gripe water, and a little bit of Vaseline to coat the Wendy with. And another thing that's kind of piggybacking off of that is that we didn't know at the time that my son had mouth ties, tongue ties, cheek ties, and lip ties. It basically is when the tissue in their mouth is a little bit tighter and not as stretchy as it normally needs to be. It makes it very difficult for them to fully latch when breastfeeding. So what happened to my son was he had multiple ties in his mouth, and when he would try to breastfeed, he'd be swallowing a lot of air. So then because he was swallowing air, he would have horrible gas and he was very colicky. If you're pregnant, or if you have a baby or you're going to have a baby soon, highly recommend seeing a lactation consultant. Another thing that I didn't think about at all, and I really wished I had brought these to the hospital and had these for postpartum, are sleeping nursing bras and pajamas that work for breastfeeding. A friend got some for me from Target. They are amazing, and to this day, 6 months later, it's still what I use. When your milk supply first comes in, it is a lot, and you are leaking sometimes. So you actually have to wear one of those bras to bed. So having those was essential for me. And I also love off of Amazon some pajamas that button down the front so that I can easily access them while breastfeeding. That has been a game changer. I don't know if I will go back until after I'm finished having children because they're so comfortable. But I wish I would have had those in the hospital so bad. Another thing that is really important is making sure that you have protein bars and Gatorade in your nightstand when you're doing your middle of the night feedings when you first get home. It is really hard to remember going to the bathroom, let alone eating enough. Those nights when you first get home are really long. At the time, I don't remember it being really hard. And I know that sounds really obnoxious, but it's really truly because we were so in love with our son. Of course, it was difficult. Of course, we were sleep deprived. Having those snacks nearby was really vital. Another thing that is totally different from what I expected was that this situation made my marriage stronger. I have heard the narrative that having a baby ruins your relationship for a really long time. But going through this with my husband and having a child together is literally, it's the coolest thing ever. And honestly, it makes us so much more appreciative of our time that we do get together. It's kind of rare that we're alone now, and it's really important that we cherish the moments that we do have. And that makes us more intentional and thoughtful about the time that we get to share together. It's also so fun and funny to go through moments of becoming a parent with your spouse. There are so many times where we have just laughed so hard. My son pooping and farting and peeing all over himself. So overall, we're so much more intentional with each other. In my personal opinion, couples that do go downhill after having a baby are people that don't know how to communicate or they're not aware of their needs. Obviously, I'm speaking from just my experience, being aware, like, am I hungry or am I tired? Or is this really something that I need to like discuss? Being able to argue well and have conflict well, because it doesn't disappear. So overall, just continue to be intentional with your spouse. Another thing that was definitely like a surprise to me is people used to tell me, they would always say that your maternal instinct would kick in. And I was always really confused by that. I thought that that was not helpful at all because it's very vague. Truthfully, the maternal instinct definitely kicked in like hardcore, to the point where now, if I have a gut instinct about something, I know that 9 times out of 10, it's what needs to happen. As someone who struggled with self-doubt like pretty much my whole life, it is so cool to be able to have that confidence in myself as a mother. Part of that is maternal instinct, and the other part is just being connected to the Holy Spirit. I'm a firm believer in the Holy Spirit being my best friend and helper. I've never felt him more as a helper in my whole life. Even on days where I feel really, really lonely or isolated from my community, I just feel so covered by the fact that the Lord will help me and will help me make decisions in the moment. Another one is milk supply. My milk supply did not come in for 5 days after my son was born. It felt like it was never going to happen. I was so scared. And he was drinking colostrum, which is the substance that's in your milk ducts, or I don't know if they're in your milk ducts. Whatever is coming out before breast milk is called colostrum, and it does help give them what they need until the milk supply comes in. How I discovered that my milk supply was I got out of the shower, I was talking to my husband, and I swore that I felt like a bug on my leg. I kept like swatting it away, and I looked down. My milk was leaking out of myself and falling onto my leg. On the note of milk supply, getting a breast pump through insurance is huge. I didn't want to have to buy a pump full price, and so I got this one from a consignment sale, and it just wasn't working that well. And then finally, my lactation consultant told me about how you can get a breast pump through insurance. I got the best breast pump ever. Make sure that you like your breast pump. I've mentioned my lactation consultant a lot. It blows my mind how women just have babies and breastfeed and don't have that additional help and support. You can look on Google and research all you want, but everything is going to have different opposing opinions. So to have someone that is actually trained in lactation and can personally help me with my problems is really, really important. I saw her every week for probably a month and a half at one point, and it was a game changer. The stuff I learned about breast milk, about lactation, I could do a whole one of these videos just on that. Another thing I wish I would have known, tell me if you agree, is to not get attached to a routine. He changes his routine like this. Just prepare for that. Just prepare for kind of not knowing what you're doing most of the time. And then as soon as you get comfortable, prepare for a change right after that. Do you have anything to add?
What? One thing that I realized is that to adjust, if you're getting less sleep than you did before, it's like I have this extra energy. Or like changing a dirty diaper. It's probably a lot grosser for someone else, but when this is your own child, it's not a problem. Everything increased that wasn't there before.
You don't have to be a kid person to be a good parent. Were you a kid person before we had a baby?
I wouldn't say, I never disliked children, but I'm not gonna go pick up a stranger's baby.
And I love babies, and I've always loved babies, but I'm telling you, this guy is the sweetest, most tender dad. That first couple weeks when you're just like waking up every few hours, it felt hard, but it wasn't nearly as hard as you imagined because you're so in love with your baby, and you're just kind of so excited to just spend time with them and be with them that it just makes it easier.
There's an adrenaline rush that lasts for like months. And it's honestly kind of wearing off now. Like the first 4 months, not really complaining. I spent so long trying to learn how to do the swaddle in the hospital with
I was gonna say Yeah, that was my next one.
Just get the, whatever it's called, Hannah can say. Use that thing.
The
10.
halo, the halo.
The halo thing. I have a video on my phone of them doing it on like a stuffed animal because I like wanted to rewatch it. There's something about it, it's kind of fun just using a towel, but...
A towel.
Whatever it is.
You mean a swaddling cloth?
A cloth, a swaddling cloth.
Don't spend a bunch of money on swaddling cloths. Just buy the Halo swaddle that Velcro. When you're in the middle of the night and you're doing the middle of the night feeding and you're tired, you are not going to want to have to fold everything perfectly. Just get the Velcro thing. It's just so much easier. Just do it. Kind of in the same, I can't do this at the same time, I just realized. Another thing that I really wish that I would have known, to do research not just on pregnancy and birth, but also on newborn care, specifically sleeping and sleep patterns. When you're in the thick of it with your child, you're gonna have a very limited capacity on doing research and reading books. Spend time in your pregnancy doing that. Some books that I found really helpful for me, and I'm still discovering what they are, is a book called Baby Wise and a book called The Happy Sleeper. This is a very random thing, but I thought about it yesterday, is when you breastfeed and you're buying things for your pump, there are different size phalanges with the things that go around your breast when you pump, because everyone's got different sizes of areolas. Sorry for the details, but it's really important that you're not damaging your tissue. And if you have a phalange that's, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, someone let me know. Definitely did not anticipate how much I was going to use my hand pump. Having a hand pump and having a little kit that's compact that you can throw in the car, throw in the diaper bag, even in your purse sometimes, is really important. I am on my way somewhere with my husband. I need to pump in my car, going out for the night with some friends. I have to pump all throughout the night to make sure that my milk supply doesn't crash. Having a hand pump that's compact that I can put in my purse is really important. Okay, another thing I wish I would have known so bad. Prepare for breastfeeding clothes. When I had my son, I was in this place of being a new mom, fresh postpartum. I just wore like a crap ton of button downs. I wish I would have spent a little bit more time researching breastfeeding friendly clothing, staple pieces, like get camisoles that are breastfeeding friendly. There's also camisoles that are shaping, so they kind of suck everything in. I wore one of those for a while when my belly was still pretty loose. I wish I wouldn't have spent so much money on clothing. I had pants, tops, sleepers, onesies. I had everything that you could possibly dream of having in clothing. I didn't put him in an actual outfit until he was probably 4 months old. He lived in those little sleepers. It was because I was tired. It was winter. There's just a lot to consider. Just make sure that you have some sleeper pajamas or footy pajamas that you really like for them. Okay, I need to go to church and my son needs to wake up. We're gonna go get him up. Hey! You ready to go to church? Hey, buddy! I continue to think of things that I wish I would have known, though I could definitely do like a series of these videos. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see just kind of embracing the beauty and the humor of the everyday, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Say bye!